Exageramos, hein? Tá muito forte.
Bom dia, Sr. Vereador.
Bom dia, vamos a isto, querida Gabriela.
Ok.
Fica muito bem aí como, assim, coordenador, não?
Obrigada. Welcome to all of you this morning, and our City Councillor for Culture will present and open the session to all of us. Please.
Hi, Gabriela. Hello, everybody. Welcome you all to the featured and the featured the Artist Ceramic Biennial next. This meeting, the work from Aveiro, an international cluster of ceramic, with the ongoing of our Biennial, which we invite you to visit, I hope, in person. We thank you for accepting this challenger and I wish you all perfect work. Now it's open. Thanks, and let's see a little film. Thank you very much. Good work. Thank you.
Não me ouve?
Agora ouvi.
Ok.
Okay. Good morning to all. First, I want to say that it's with a great pleasure that the Museu Nacional do Azulejo is associated with this Biennial next, and we want to thank the organization for the invitation, namely for Ana Gomes and Andrea Valorens, who were the in-betweeners between the organization and the museum. So, after the words of the City Councillor for Cultural Affairs, Dr. Miguel Capão Felipe, we'll start to make the presentations of the group of the several biennials who are responsible for several biennials around the world. And the first will be Arina Ailinkai from Cluj Ceramics Biennial. She is a Romanian artist with a degree from the University of Arts and Design in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, and also from the visual art teaching from the University of Toronto, Canada. She has received several European and Canadian awards and is present in solo and group exhibitions in Europe, Asia, and North America. She will be presenting the Biennial adventure between enthusiasm and difficulty, and she will talk about this Ceramics Biennial that is a planetary cultural exchange to benefit this art and the scale and scope of such an event, organized through lots of moral and material difficulties, how to give food for thought and drive to action. We'll be very curious to listen to this presentation. Okay, sorry, I received the information that Arina is not here. I must pass to the second second person, that is Cathy Franzi, from TACA, Australian Ceramics Association, and she's a Doctor of Philosophy by the School of Art of Australian National University of Canberra, Australia, and she has a first degree in science and has led numerous science art projects. She's a full-time professional artist engaged with ideas of nature and environment. She will be presenting the Australian Ceramics Biennial, Past and Future. And this is a national conference held in different locations around the vast continent of Australia every 3 years. And the 16th will be held next year in the centre of Australia, in Alice Springs, and with a focus on local makers, particularly Indigenous artists. The floor is yours, Katie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. I hope the PowerPoint will be there for you to see too. So thank you very much for inviting me and your interest in what we are doing in Australia. I fondly remember spending 6 weeks in Portugal travelling around on a bicycle. It is a very beautiful and interesting country with some very big mountains. Before I tell you about the way we run our conference, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the Ngunnawal people, the traditional custodians of the land where I am located, which is in Canberra. The Australian Ceramic Biennial is the nation's flagship ceramics conference, bringing artists, educators, theorists and collectors together from around the country to interrogate the field of contemporary ceramic practice. The first conference was held 43 years ago in 1978 in Sydney, and we are about to have our 16th Biennale in July next year in Alice Springs in the centre of Australia. Our last Triennale was held in Hobart, in the southern island state of Tasmania, and brought together over 700 delegates for 5 days of talks, demonstrations, exhibitions, performance art, pottery markets, trade stands, workshops, exhibition openings, debate and discussion. International, national and local artists and speakers were featured. The Australian Ceramics Triennale is a not-for-profit event, and it's supported by the Australian Ceramics Association, the highly respected peak national body for ceramics in Australia. I'll explain a little bit about this organisation, of which I am president of the board, and how it provides a framework for the Australian Ceramics Triennale. The Australian Ceramics Association, or TACA, works within a generous grassroots ceramics community, drawing our membership from all states and territories. Foremost to our strategic plan are our members, our aim being to provide services for the benefit of their ceramics practice and to create connections between them and the broader arts community. We advocate for and on behalf of our members and our community to strengthen ceramics in Australia. We reach out to the broader public to inspire, inform and connect people with Australian ceramics. We work to spread the excitement and passion of ceramics throughout Australia so that everyone has the opportunity to recognise, experience and value ceramics in their daily lives. The Australian Ceramics Association started in 1956 and currently has over 1,500 members. It is a not-for-profit company and receives no government funding. It has 1 full-time and 2 part-time staff. We publish a 164-page journal, the Journal of Australian Ceramics, 3 times a year, run online masterclasses, support a national open studio event, a members directory, a Biennale exhibition, a weekly e-newsletter, an online ceramics forum, and currently have over 68,000 followers on Instagram, just to name a few of our activities. As we all know, it is an enormous undertaking to coordinate a big conference, especially in a different location each time with different organisers. The following framework has been developed by TACA to assist in holding a Triennale. The Australian Ceramics Association calls first for expressions of interest from groups and organisations from around Australia to host the next Triennale. This can include ceramic artists, ceramic clubs and communities, educational institutions, museums and galleries. The successful applicant establishes the Triennale Committee consisting of representatives from local partners and stakeholders to help plan, implement and manage all aspects of the Triennale. This includes organising a venue, a theme and program, all extra activities such as exhibitions and pre and post conference workshops, seeking funding, managing the finances, recruiting volunteers, and developing partnerships such as with cultural and educational institutions. It is a 3-year planning project and requires dedicated administrative staff. A 3-year delivery plan with timelines and a budget is required. So to help community organisers run this event, the Australian Ceramics Association has set up a not-for-profit company to provide support and an ongoing legal entity under which to run the event. The Australian Ceramics Triennale Limited Board is made up of 3 directors from TACA Board and 2 directors from the organising committee. The directors' positions are voluntary, and the role of the Australian Ceramics Triennale Board is to oversee the fiscal management of the Triennale and to offer support and advice to the organising committee. The Australian Ceramics Association offers a range of sustained support, advice and mentorship to the organisers, and this includes deductible gift recipient status to assist with attracting grants and donations. It provides a seed fund loan to assist with the initial planning expenses. It provides volunteer and public liability insurance. It provides an Australian Triennale website, the domain registration, web hosting and emails. It provides a Triennale Facebook and Instagram account which has followers and activity from previous events. It provides 4 pages of free advertising in the Journal of Australian Ceramics in the 3 issues of the 12 months leading up to the event. And it features the Triennale program on the Australian Ceramics Association social media. Also, free access to TACA board directors to host and moderate the events, and access to documentation from previous events. The aim of the Australian Ceramics Triennale is to advance culture in the area of ceramics, to foster a lively and engaged ceramics community throughout Australia, to bring together ceramic artists, educators, theorists and collectors from around Australia and the world, to interrogate the field of contemporary ceramic practice, to advocate for excellence in ceramics education and training, and to provide opportunities for members of the Australian community to recognise, experience and value ceramics in their daily lives. Finally, how does this benefit the local groups holding the Australian Ceramics Triennale? From experience, it is clear there are many benefits. It brings a focus on the ceramic scene in that state and region. It empowers and showcases local ceramic makers and the ceramics community. It builds leadership and organisational skills. It provides opportunities for local makers to present, exhibit and hold projects. It draws local and regional public attention to the ceramics scene, and the event draws visitors to the state or region. Each Triennale is different because it draws on the imagination and character of each place, the region's artists and the organising committee. As I mentioned in the beginning, the next Australian Ceramics Triennale is to be held in Alice Springs in spectacular desert country, home to the central Arrernte people and a vibrant and diverse arts community. It will be held from the 19th to the 22nd of July 2022, with events in the weeks before and after the conference. The program is geared around the daily themes of archetype, alchemy and anarchy. I hope you may be tempted to come, or to the one after that in 2025, hosted by the State of Western Australia at the Fremantle Arts Centre. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very interesting presentation, and you were very moderate spending the time, but we'll have time to discuss with all the group. So next presentation, thank you, will be by Claudia Casali from Argila, Faenza, and she is the director of the International Museum of Ceramics in Faenza, Italy, and has a degree in preservation of cultural heritage and a specialization in history of contemporary art and aesthetics by the University of Studies of Udine. And she has an extended collaboration with several international museums from Europe and Asia. And since 2011 is responsible for the international competition Faenza Prize. She will present the Faenza Prize and Argila, and she will talk about the Faenza Prize that exists since 1938 and is the long-lasting competition of ceramic art in the world, and has been an incredible experience involving artists from all over the world. And Argila is a ceramic market which started in Faenza in 2008 and organizes many artistic events and hosts around 200 ceramists, mainly from Europe. Claudia, we are listening. Thank you.
So thank you for the invitation. Thank you for this short presentation. Yes, I will talk about Faenza Prize and Argila Festival. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for this invitation in this panel. I'm very happy to be here, even if I would prefer to be in presence in Aveiro, because I saw the images of this beautiful city that I didn't visit. I was in Portugal different times, but not in Aveiro, so it's pity, and it will be next time for sure. So I'm the director of the International Museum of Ceramic in Faenza, one of the largest and bigger collection of international ceramic art. It is not just Italian, but it is international. And so this, from the very beginning, the aim of this museum was to involve many other museums, artists internationally to talk about ceramic and to improve this very big collection, which has around 60,000 pieces now, from 4,000 years before Christ till nowadays. So I will start talking about the Faenza Prize. As you can see in the slide, it is the long-lasting competition devoted to ceramic art. It started in 1938, and it received many changes during these 80 years of events, because it has many different sections, from unique pieces to design, a tile competition inside this event, and also it was dedicated to ceramic schools, Italian ceramic schools. Now we are trying to have a more contemporary vision, and we focus on installation and sculpture, and it is more modern and more contemporary. And what is till 1963, it was just an Italian competition, and then it became international, and that was the great success of this Biennale. And since 1989, it became biennial. So now we are still working on this 2 years project. As I said, the project was big and unique from the very beginning. And what were the aims of from the starting in 1938? So they tried to give the ceramist a way of comparison of new models, styles, daily tendencies of ceramic art. Try to develop a new conscience and approach on ceramic art, different from the pottery ceramic, and try to give our territory, our Italian territory, Italian ceramic territory, good inputs on developing avant-garde, updated ceramic in comparison to other territories. That was the idea of making it international. and then enrich the relationship of our museum, the Faenza Museum, with other situations similar. And it was important that, for example, during the year 70s, we had a connection with the Japanese Festival of Ceramic that at that time was held in Nagoya. And little by little it became a very important tool of relationship between countries. And for this reason, Faenza became very popular all around the world. So we can say that the Faenza Prize faces all the changes of ceramic art, its concepts, and facing also a kind of socio-anthropological dimension, because as I always said, art and ceramic art are in fact always facing the changes of our society. You can see there the celebration of ceramic now. The images are related to this big event that started, that was held in 2018 for celebrating 60 edition and 80 years. We selected, it was not an open competition, but it was an exhibition on invitation. A board of 17 curators from all over the world selected 53 artists internationally that gave an important input to contemporary ceramic art. And the idea was to give a view of what was at that moment the concept of contemporary ceramic art. So we had artists from India to USA, from Europe, of course, China, Japan, Africa, Israel. So it was a great panel of artists. We made also some conferences, and it was great because the majority of them, around 48 artists up to 53, were in present, and they share their vision, they share their ideas on ceramic art, and that was a very great fest and great festival on what is ceramic art at that moment. So passing through these images of the exhibition of ceramic now, we go further and we arrive to the 61st edition of the Premio Faenza Prize. And that was not held because due to the pandemic situation, but we decided to keep the concept, the selection that the jury made on this Biennale, and we published a great book devoted to these selected artists. There were two categories, one under 35 and the other one over 35. And a new logo was dedicated to this special Biennale, special edition, not in presence. And but what we try to support the community of artists, we try to create these talks that started in January and finished in March, when it was supposed to be the opening of the exhibition. So each week we interview the artists, they presented their work, and that had a great result. And I'd like to show you the small video we presented at the end of March on these results. So in this video, try to give you all the images of that particular moment. We were in a complete lockdown, and that was the only way to make this connection with the artists and the community of ceramic art. What was important of these talks is that many academies, for example, universities, used these talks as a kind of lesson for their students. And the numbers that you saw at the beginning were only just for the 3 months that we were organizing these events, and now the numbers are getting more and more. So we are thinking about using this option of these talks, of the introduction of the artist before the exhibition, also for the 62 Biennial Fancy Prize that will be in 2023, and the application will be in autumn 2022. I'd like to remind that in this special project I was not only alone, but I was together with Judith Schwartz, Ranti Tian, Irene Biolchini, Frédéric Baudet, and Alberto Salvadori. So that was the team of this event, Fancy Prize Special Edition. So let's talk about Agila. Agila is a different concept. It is not the Fancy Prize, of course, but it is a festival of ceramics, a kind of big market in the city. We started this project in Faenza in 2008. It is not just our museum organizing it, but of course they have the support, the fundamental support of the municipality of Faenza and the Italian Association of Cities of Ceramics. The idea is to create a ceramic community linked mainly to the pottery production, and to focus each edition to a particular ceramic country. For example, next edition will be Ireland, the guest country. Inside this market, there are also different events, because it is not just the market, the presentation of the workshop of coming from all over Europe and outside Europe. For example, we have special connection with Japan, China, South America. And but it is the idea of creating 3 days of big events on ceramic. That means innovating, firing performances in the main square of the city, artistic exhibition, conferences, talks, these events on the wheel, and we have always a particular project for each edition. I didn't say that at the very beginning that Argilla Italia is a spin-off of Argilla au Bagne that was created, of course, before. And the next edition will be in September next year. And as I said, the special guest will be Ireland, and all of you are invited to Faenza, that because it will be a big event that we had to have it in 2020, but unfortunately, as you know, everything was postponed. But we are very happy, and we are thinking about the fact that it will be a great event for everybody to return in present also for this market. So thank you very much for your attention, and of course, if you have questions, do not hesitate to talk.
Thank you, Claudia, for the presentation and for the invitation also. And we'll pass to the questions by the end of all the presentations. Okay, thank you. So next will be Émilie Farc from Parcours Céramique Caraujois. She has studied in the École Olivier de Serres in Paris, and ceramics in the University of Art and Design from Geneva. She is ceramic assistant in CERCO, Experimentation and Research Center for Contemporary Ceramics, of the Geneva University of Art and Design, and the curator and general coordinator of the Parcours Cerâmica Artística. And she's a manager of the Bruckner Foundation. She will present Parcours Cerâmica Artística, a story of collaboration, and she will talk about the 30 years old initiative that continues and develops thanks to the collaborative energy. And she will inform us from the challenges and successes of this International Biennial of Contemporary Ceramics. So, Emily, you can start. Thank you. I think we are not listening.
Unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, I had to unmute. So hello everyone. As you have seen, I'm going to explain how the Parcours Cerâmica Artística, which we organized, the Bruckner Foundation, is an event which was only managed to survive and flourish thanks to collaborative work. And I think it's really important in our fields to talk about that. As you are going to see, Bruckner Foundation is located in Carouge. It's in Switzerland, for those who don't know, just outside Geneva. The foundation was established in 1998 thanks to a bequest that was made to the city of Carouge, which means it is a foundation under public law. As the foundation's endowment wasn't huge, Bruckner Foundation is also founded by the city of Carouge. Our current premises have in fact been loaned to us by them. This includes our office as well as the workshops that we rent out to professional or amateur ceramists. We also offer free bursary every year, as well as a fairing service for both individuals and institutions. And as you are well aware, we organize events related to ceramics, in particular the Parcours Cerâmica Artística, that I'm going to call PCC to simplify. And I have to manage all that in only 24 hours a week, while my assistant can only dedicate 16 hours. So now I'm going to tell you a short story. At the outset, there was a little town next to Geneva called Carouge. In the 19th and 20th century, numerous ceramics workshops and other one factories studded the little town. But in 1936, the last of the factories had to close its own doors as a result of a financial crisis. Now, let's fast forward quite a few years. There was two friends that you can see on the pictures, Marianne Brand and Michel de Turens, both self-taught ceramists who produce mostly functional pieces. But the advent of shops such as IKEA was a game changer, and they had to find another way of making ceramics. The catalyst would be the first ever Carouge International Ceramics Competition. And why not us, wondered the two creative at the time. And so, after organizing a group show, they came up with the idea of establishing a tour of artistic ceramics, which involved different galleries and workshops in Carouge. It was in 1989, and the Parcours Cerâmica Artística was born. Allow me here to pause for a second to remind you and explain for those who don't know it yet how the PCC works. The PCC features mostly solo exhibitions, though there are some which are joint, in different private locations around Carouge in the Old Town. Visitors walk from one location to the next to discover the different exhibitions. Each location, gallery, or crafts arcade is responsible for organizing their ceramist exhibition. They manage everything from practical aspect to logistics, cover all costs, bear all risks, and obtain funding from selling ceramic pieces. With the exception of a few museums of galleries located elsewhere, mostly in Geneva, participating locations are in Carouge. Now we have around 15 exhibitions, plus many events, such as the demonstration that you can see on the picture, and firings, and etc. Now back to my story about the PCC. There followed years of fervent activity with a group of volunteers. We had very limited means at the time. Our visitors were only the people we had in address books and passers-by, explained Michel. In 1993, the PCC took a dramatic dimension with the reopening of the Musée Ariana, the Swiss Museum of Ceramics and Glass, after a 12-year renovation. The event then grew from 6 locations at its inception to 34 exhibition locations in Carouge and Geneva, and affirmed its museum dimension through several partnerships. Unfortunately, the lack of means ended up draining all the energy. But a meeting with Carouge's administrative counselor for culture at the time, Mr. Dominique Henny, brought up brought about new changes to the PCC. I met with Marianne Brand on the recommendation of Monsieur Jean-Marie Marquis, former curator of the Musée de Carouge. Being in charge of culture, I thought it was my duty to revive the cultural identity of the citizens of Carouge by making them relate to their own past. Mr. Eni advised the organizer to establish an association to make the PCC more formal, hence be able to look for sponsorship. And it was also him who, in 1998, allowed for the bequest of late Mrs. Bruckner to be allocated to ceramics by creating eponymous foundation. Nevertheless, 10 years later, the organization of the PCC was struggling again. Indeed, seeing as most of the people who participated in the organization of the biennial event were either volunteers or had very low remuneration, it wasn't long until helping hands were scarce. In light of the events, the then Vice President of the Bruckner Foundation, Mrs. Marianne Brand, suggested that the foundation took over the organization of the event again in order to professionalize it and make it a lasting event. A suggestion was accepted in 2010 when the foundation changed headquarters and the duties of the managers were reassessed. The PCC has been organized by Bruckner Foundation for 11 years now. I have been working here since 2013 and I'm organizing the event for the fourth time. As the title of my speech illustrates, I have realized that organizing such an event depends to a great extent of collaborations, network, and of course the community. At the exception, two friends belonging to a ceramics and crafts community convinced other craftsmen and gallery owners. Then they grew their circle with museum institutions and finally obtained support from the local government. They also got help from others to establish the foundation, manage the event's operation, and obtain funding from private institutions. Today, the association has been dissolved, and there are only two of us working at the foundation to organize the event. As I mentioned before, we have little means, both in terms of funding and human resources. For a few months, we have also to hire people to manage communication, a graphic designer, webmaster, logical support, exhibition guards, as well as other professionals needed to the event to take place. But it's important to highlight that at the heart of the event, there are the galleries and crafts arcades that make it possible. For without them, there would be no PCC. That's why we have a few pictures of some owners of galleries with the artists they invited. But without us, they would have thrown in the towel a long time ago too. I would also like to highlight the logistical support we have received from the local government, and especially by means of their disposal and event services. The central premises for the event, we saw the Halle de la Fonderie a bit earlier, have also been loaned by us by the city of Carouge for the event. Hence, the PCC is all about energy, synergy, and collaboration. It's a human adventure where each and everyone's will and energy make up for the lack of financial resources. That is both its strength and its weakness. With better funding, Bruckner Foundation could help galleries and hence invite artists who come from further away and whose work is less commercial, because we have to take this also into account. Nowadays, our choices are driven by economic constraints on the one hand and our love for ceramics on the other hand. And the personal commitment that its demand is so mean feat. So this is our story. I would say that the PCC wouldn't exist anymore without strong motivation and collaborative work, even before funding. Each edition, its existence is questioned again. So I'm wondering how you all manage to still exist. I mean, your event, what are your strengths and weaknesses? What is your stories? And also, I would like to take the opportunity to tell you that if you want to know more about the event itself, you can visit our website, the Parcours Cerâmica Artística. And also tell you that the next event will take place from the 17th to the 25th September next year, in 2022. And the theme will be Materia Prima, Ceramics and Alchemical Art. And it will take place just after the Congress of International Academy of Ceramics. You may have heard of it. That will take place in Geneva the day before. So there will be a lot of ceramic in September 2022. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your presentation. And the questions will be presented as accorded in the last presentation. So we'll skip the series that we were seeing because we have the first person, Arina Alinkay from Cluj, Ceramics Biennial. And as I was presenting in the beginning, she's a Romanian artist from the University of Arts and Designs in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, and a visual art teaching certificate from the University of Toronto, Canada. She has received several European and Canadian awards and has been presented in solo and group exhibitions in Europe, Asia, and North America. She will be presenting the Biennial Adventure Between Enthusiasm and Difficulty, a ceramics biennial that is a planetary cultural exchange to benefit this art and the scale and scope of such an event that is organized through lots of moral and material difficulties, how to give food for thought and drive to action. So we'll be listening to your presentation, Irene. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting and congratulations for the conference, which in this condition was, I know, very hard to do. And the conference is a topic actually long waited for many. So I will present a little bit hour by hour, which is a young one. But at the beginning, I say Biennial is just not a space for cultural conversation. It is a
Sorry, Irina, there are some complaints about the sound. It's not very good.
Oh, so what I am doing? Oh, but I am not having this. It's better without? Better without?
A bit.
A bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay. The Biennial is not just a space for cultural conversation between planetary and meridian, but a complex exhibition and in which it a social cultural project that assumes a cognitive contact and provoke the imaginary and educate, shape sensitivity of the receiving public.
Sorry, Irina. Sorry for interrupting. You don't have any microphone or something to?
Yeah, I do have those, actually.
Okay. It's probably the sound of the room where you are. Probably is making some.
So I try again to put the.
Okay. Could you?
Arina, I'm Gabriela from Aveiro. If possible, you turn off your camera and then speech. Maybe it will be easier for us to listening. Did you heard me? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, we are not listening anything. Hello, Irina?
Hello now, how is now?
Yeah, we are listening, yeah.
That's okay?
It didn't change much.
You don't change. Oh, that's not good. So if I don't have the image, it's not better.
It's
And with image,
okay.
it's worse.
I don't think there is much difference, but can we try a bit? Can we try a bit? Sorry.
So I close the image. Probably it's better without the, for now.
Okay.
It is better now.
Yeah, a bit better. Let's
Yeah.
try it. Sorry.
If not, we just give up. And I send you the text.
Okay.
Interrupt me if you don't hear, okay? Hello? Interrupt me if you don't hear.
Really, we don't understand much of what you are saying. Sorry.
Okay. I am telling the text, but if you don't hear, just let me know, okay?
Okay, now we listen.
Okay. So Biennial is not just a space for cultural conversation, but between the planetarium meridian, but a complex exhibition, a socio-cultural project that assumes cognitive contact need to provoke the imaginary, to educate and shape the sensitivity of the civic public. Now, how I see the other speakers, they are mostly affiliated to cultural organization with a stable status, with almost stable finances such as temple, museum, cultural center, etc. The one which we would have liked. But we are preparing relatively young biennial, active just from 4th edition, organized by a group of enthusiastic authors almost on our own. Now, the International Ceramic Inclusion is the first event of this kind in Romania and was born from the desire to, one, stimulate the creativity in the field of ceramic art in our country and to make known abroad our art, addressed mostly to young generation of ceramic which needs dust and model and consistency in their art practice. Second would be to educate and change the mentality about contemporary ceramic. Still persists the idea that ceramic is a kind of Cinderella for arts, integrated, anachronic, and unjust in the category of decorative art. After the unprecedented emancipation of postmodern ceramic, we can no longer define the form of free sculpture expression as decorative. But today, contemporary artists use all forms of expression of art in a great diversity, from abstract to figurative object, monumental art, performing or installation. It is perhaps the most diverse, complex form of artistic expression. And another goal would be to boost the creativity potential in the field, not just for young generation, which remain in hibernation for life after the collapse of communist regime. Since then, at that time, the potter did not have personal workshops with technical equipment necessary to make the ceramic object. We were mostly employees of ceramic factories and depended on their goodwill to make work of art. I worked for more than 15 years in a porcelain factory, where 8 hours I was designer, and in the evening, incognito, I did my work for exhibition. With this solution of this factory, many artists were confused without possibility of realizing their work, and the adaptations to capitalism in our country did not offer them solution for integration into artistic life. So they are still keen and very, uh, they lost the courage. So that we have to um, adjust them to the new way of being. Returning to one of the major goals of the it must to be said that is defined by ability to show the global cultural mosaic, creating network between artists and cultural groups, occasion for exchange of idea and technique. Last biennial, we had a fruitful collaboration with organization of Latvian biennial, Martis and Rohr. They had shown selection of Latvian ceramic and was for us a lesson of organization behavior skill. Collaboration we hope to continue. Ideally, those biennials should become a kind of ceramic festival that attract different social groups. There are currently some significant examples. Those from Korea, Taiwan, China, that met the requirement of such program. This result, even I would adjust now in Italy, in our continent, this result is due to the mentality according to which ceramic is the queen of art in Asia, financially supported by state and consequently benefit of related museum, period of residence, independent education, open to all the last art experience, absorbing their artistic field and historical style, being under multiple influence but not losing its expression and density specific to ceramic. Other are still stick to the epidermal seduction of glaze, patina, texture, etc. But other mean to go beyond form and technique and to express depth, discourse, and meanings. The cult of ball is still present, not only in Oriental art, also in our culture, in Western art, and it remains quintessence of beauty and utility. Starting from the archetypal state of universal uh, container of the vessel through which means symbolic uh, repeat the original scenario of creation and cooperate with the primordial form of the world. In the hermeneutic tradition, it is a text according to which, after the creation of the God sent a greater vessel, a bowl, with a large mouth filled with nose, pneuma, to spiritually regenerate fallen man in a state of imperfection. This vessel is therefore the spiritual matrix in which are contained virtually all the ceramic artifacts from the discrete, refined presence of the Japanese bowl, the monumental sculpture, organism, and installation, and like it are each receptacle of nous, chemical dream, and incantation about history of art, culture, and civilization. So culture and ceramic is and was chronicle mankind. So we know our history just through ceramic for such a long time. Now it's another topic which I heard before. We depend on the grant and sponsorship. We can extend the collateral and parallel action of the biennial like solo, group exhibition, lecture, round table, cultural trip just being very depending on those financing source. Last but not least, a major event like this, organized not with little effort, should receive the attention of culture authority of the city, at least as concerning the local prestige. Now, regarding the organization of Biennial, we have more or less all of us the same criteria. So I would not go through this because we are very, or we should. I think you don't hear too much. Hello?
Yes, we are listening.
Okay. So regarding the organization of Biennial in general, we have more or less same criteria. The announcements of organization, condition of participation, application, which all is made on the site of the Biennial, collecting applications with personal data, each participant, the data for each participant, image of the work. Those data are sent to the jury, usually consisting of 5 or 7 international personalities from various cultural areas of the world. The jury chooses the future participant in the Biennial exhibition based on a voting treat. In order to award the prize, the jury meets one day before the opening of the exhibition and light the image and see the work and choose the prize. As far as we are concerned, we try to simplify the procedure system of applications and judging in order to facilitate a wider participant without sophisticated technique again, considering that not all artists have advanced electronic knowledge, like I don't have either. Okay.
Okay. Yes?
Yes, I cannot go back to the image.
Okay. Have you having problems with your presentation?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I think the organization, can you?
So, yeah, too bad. Probably the sound was very bad, so you could not hear too much.
Yeah, it was so struggling, like you are when you are making the ceramic Biennial almost.
It's strange because one day before it was okay, and now.
I think the problem is that you are in a very large room, I think, and
Yes.
probably it's making echo, and that's the problem.
That's true. If I knew it, I would have gone in the smaller room.
Yeah.
I did not know about this. So, how I mentioned before, the artist does not have too much electronic knowledge.
Okay, but I think we have a general idea, and you can have in the afterwards, when we are talking about and discussing all the differences between these projects, I think you'll have some time to express a better idea. Okay. So sorry, but we thank you for your resilience.
I'm sorry
with all this effort. Okay, thank you. So I will pass for the next presentation. This will be made by the curator Lorenzo Fiorucci and the project illustrator Beatriz Conte for the BAC Bienal Art Cerâmica Contemporânea. Lorenzo Fiorucci is an historical art critic from the University of Perugia, and the University of Siena, and is a curator of scientific projects at the Museum of Palazzo Collicola in Spoleto, and he curated many important exhibitions. He writes permanently for several art magazines. Beatrice Conte, that is in the image, has a degree in technologies for conservation and restoration of cultural heritage, and a master's in science and technology for the conservation of cultural heritage from the Università della Sapienza in Rome. So she has several experience in several schools, and she will be presenting Bach 2022, Earth in Balance. This Terra in Equilibrio, it's the central theme of the next edition of the Bach, where a selection of artists' sculptures made of ceramics will work and compose for two sections, Sistema Natura and Sistema Sociale, reflecting about the Earth and the material nature of the planet. Thank you, Beatrice. We'll listen to you.
Thank you for your invitation. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I can prepare, a PowerPoint presentation, but I prepare a film introducing the Biennial starting from its first edition. So have a good view.
Okay, thank you.
She only walks to count her steps. 18 strides and she stops to abide by the law that she herself has set. That 18 steps is one complete set, and before the next 9 right and 9 left. She looks up at the blue and whispers to all of the above, don't let me drown, don't breathe alone, no kicks, no pangs, no broken bones, never let me sink, always feel at home, no sticks, no shanks and no stones, never leave it too late, always enjoy the taste of the great world of hearts. As all doors everywhere bark, it's worth knowing, like.
Okay, I hope this can be visualization of the Biennial. So good morning everyone, my name is Beatrice Conte, I'm the project illustration for Bach Biennial, the Biennial of Contemporary Ceramic Art located in Frascati, close to Rome, and promoting from Contemporary Association of Arts and Culture, which next year will be at its 5th edition. From its first edition, the intention of our Biennial was to reflect the avant-garde in which contemporary ceramic moved in these last years, starting from the first edition in the year 2012, the Biennial photographing what is the ceramic art today and its expansion. From the first edition, we gave space to the primordial use of the material, but even the possibility for what the clay made possible. For these reasons, its first edition was named Material in Expansion, and the last one evolved into Through Art and Science. This to confirm the characteristic of experimentation for a biennial that proposed itself to analyze and offer a new lecture of ceramic art. And in this expressive research, the artists were never passive. Indeed, they were punctual interpreters and sometimes expected in the visionary elaboration of a new language. This edition will not be an exception, especially because today, in the historical moment we are living, that's an expressive exigence. This last year makes increase the balance between the two systems regulating the co-living of nature and humankind, and it will be between these two poles that the Biennial will be made and named basically Earth in Balance. Starting from these two principal paths, named social system and nature system, it will design the structure that supports the 5th edition of Bach. Starting from these two concepts, it will articulate many paths, each assigned to a different curator and collocated into a different location, for having more suggesting visions of the same expressive exigence. The exposition location will take the advantage of the agreement with the IRBIT, that is the Regional Institute of Tuscolane Villas, a territorial core of historical residences in the Tusculum area that could add fascination and contrast with contemporary art, we hope. In each residence, the respectively curator can express his or her different interpretation of the theme in a multi-hand work, always under unity supervision of the curator Lorenzo Fiorucci. And each section, from which many paths starting, will be in relation with what I named before, the two-system balance. The first, nature system, will be a section interested in the idea of primordial and, at the same time, the sense of ecology expressive through the means of art, where reflection and linguistic development take into account the concept of limit, the limit imposed by nature, including the use of new ecological technologies. In this category, the artist can rely on a gestuality and, in this sense, even a performance that includes a language connected with the primordial sense of art as the material one. They can use the dualism of nature as generating and cruelty through the use that can be made of clay, the different consistency it can create, and so the different story clay can tell. In the second one, the social system, there will be the other phase of limit, the limit imposed and created by human society, culture, education, historical being, from the relations between cultures and workplaces and the diversity through all of each one, highlighting the problems of a system that is rich but even pure at the same time. Therefore, in this category will be collected those works that express a reflection around the social, using art and sculpture to question the limits of the basic cultural organization of man, experimenting with new formulas of sociality, participation, and sharing. To expand this scenario and to make this manifestation as an international one in continuing of the third edition project with Spain, it will create a special section dedicated to build the exchange relationship between the European states. We wish this could create a measure of the artistic research level in the field of contemporary ceramic sculpture. One last section will be dedicated to some tributes to be defined yet, but what is certain is that one will be dedicated to the sculptor of Pietro Cascella, whose centenary marks this year in 2021. And even if the Biennale will be next year, it was scheduled for this year because of the pandemic situation, and so has been postponed. And for this reason, we will celebrate the centenary of the Maestro Cascella during the event, even if it will be next year in 2022. On the artists who will take part in the Biennale, we had proposed an observatory during our last event, which closed just last week. It was the first edition of what we call the Back Prize, the prize dedicated to the shape of wine through the ceramic materials. Two paths were created for the event, one for artists and one for designers, and over 120 authors took part, and from all over the world, from Asia, from South of America, from the north of Europe too. A participation we are really grateful for, because our first goal was to get to know a new creative language, a new expression of the use of clay, in the freedom to mix it through any technique. And in this sense, the proposal have been a lot. And these were the price guidelines, show us a new form of clay destined to the world of drinking wine in true freedom of technique. Even if some proposals were basic, most were qualitatively valid. And from this range of proposal, we can addicted to select some authors for the next Biennale that will be take part for invite. I can add the information that the artists are chosen by each curator in relation with the spirit of the section they have to define. And ending my intervention by thanking the Aveiros Biennial team for creating the first encounter of International Ceramic Biennals. I want to thank you all for the attention, and even I want to thank you, Claudia Casale, from the MIC Defense. They take part in the jury of the back prize. And so that's all. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Beatrice. And so we'll pass to the next presentation. And the next presentation will be by Marta Sabater Iruano and José Villardel Tajuela from Ceramics Bienal Angelina Alos. Marta Sabater Iruano has a degree in contemporary art and in business science. She's a technician for the promotion of the city and tourism of Esplugues de Llobregat City Council and Secretary of the Ceramics Bienal Angelina Alos organization. José Villardel Tajuela has a degree in contemporary history and a master in cultural heritage, and she's the manager of cultural heritage and historical memory of Esplugues de Llobregat City Council and the Esplugues of Llobregat museums. So they will present Ceramic Bienal Angelina Alos, 20 editions, 20 stories of creative ceramics, Esplugues de Llobregat, de Barcelona, and they will talk about industrial ceramics and all the production related to clay that has been a point of reference in this history of Esplugues de Llobregat. In 1986, the City Council convened the first ceramic award, who would be named in memory of the ceramic artist Angelina Alos.
Oh no, se me está.
Sorry? So I will pass the words to you. Okay. We are not listening, sorry, Martin. No, we are not listening, sorry.
You can hear me?
Yeah, but very bad.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, it's better.
Better?
Okay, better.
Just in the moment, do you know Marfilo, don't you? Just in this moment, the battery of my PC has work off. But it's just the reason why I'm in the site of José Villardel. José Villardel, as you said, is the manager of the Esplugues Museum, and well, anyway, I will speak the presentation just in order to be more fluent in English. As you see. We are in the middle of the exhibition of this year's Biennial. I don't know if you can see. We are in the museum, and you have here some of the pieces that have participated and have won the Biennial. This is because this last Biennial was these last days, was in the last 20 September the 27th, and we had 83 participants and 166 submitted works. Can you show the the PowerPoint by me, because I had the presentation in the other PC that has it said. Oh, thank you. Well, this is the first of the apples of the PowerPoint presentation in order to illustrate my works. It's just a very short view of what kind of city is Esplugas is. It's a very little city in extension, 4.6 quadrat kilometers, but we have 47,000 more than that inhabitants. But we border on different cities, Sant Just Desvern, Sant Joan d'Espí, Cornellà, l'Hospitalet, and the most important one in Catalonia, Barcelona. That is an advantage, that is a disadvantage, depend of that. Well, thank you. Mainly we are a city of services. But we had a ceramics past. Here there was the Rajoleta factory. The factory where architects like Gaudí, Jujol, and other genius of modernism provides of the ceramics of their buildings. And now we have the both sides. We try to maintain these links, these ties with our past, but we won't have to a perspective of what is contemporary ceramics and local projection. We have some spaces that you saw in the last years. We have a municipal school of ceramics. We maintain the kilns of La Rajoleta, that old factory. We are in the Museum Cantin Touré, and we have an space, Espai La Baronda. It's an old, an old factory of ceramics that has a restoration, and nowadays it's a space where we have permanently exposed the winners' pieces of the different biennales, and there are different offices and companies in La Baronda. If you now you can pass to another. Thank you. The origins of the Biennial are in 1986 year. That means that we are the eldest ceramics contest of Catalonia, not the eldest of Spain, but yes, the eldest of Catalonia. And the main purpose of this contest is to motivate all the participants to experiment in ceramics and to have new relations. Can you change to the new? Oh, thank you very much. I don't know what I was doing without your help. Thank you. Then the name and the periodicity of this contest have changed with the years. First of all, it was called award Premi of the Premi Ceràmica Vila d'Esplugues, in 1996, we were called Biennial of Ceramics of Esplugues, Biennial. And in 1998, we put in the name of one very important ceramist and very linked with Esplugues, who was Angelina Loss. So from 1998, this biennial is Bienal de Ceràmica de Esplugues, Angelina Loss. There has been only 2 times in the history of this context in which it has been withdrawn. It was in 2010 due to budget and economical reasons, and last year in 2020 because of the pandemic, as you can imagine. Can you change the picture? Thank you. The territorial reach has suffered an evolution. We started with only an statal projection. In its beginning, this was a context only for Spanish participants. In 1998, we opened our contest to the participants from European Union, and from 2012, it became an international contest. Thank you. And as the names of the awards have changed with time. In the very beginning, it was first award, second, third, but with time we avoid this hierarchy, and we put to every award a different name who was representing our ceramic history and the city itself. So the first award is the award City of Esplugues, the second Angelina Loss, that important ceramist of our city, and the third one Pujol Bausis, who was the name of the factory, La Rajoleta, because La Rajoleta, which means little tile, it's a popular name, but the name of the factory was Pujol Bausis, which were the surnames of the owner of the factory. Yes, and something that I haven't said, but it's important for us, is that from 2012, we started with the audience award. It's not an award linked to an amount of money, but it's the opportunity of the audience of the exhibition and the event to tell their opinion. Even when it has no relation with the opinion of the jury. And in all these years, because we, as I said, this is the 20th edition of this contest, the award have changed in amount and have changed in current. We started in pesetas, then in the past the national current of Spain, and now it is in euros. And with the years, this amount of money for every award have changed. In the last years, mainly and thanks to the sponsorship of some big companies that have strong ties with our city, which are Nestlé, Fiat, an insurance company, and Soleil Sauret, an transport company. Can you change of the Apple? Thank you. This is this refers another time in this historical or long time view of our contest. The venues have changed with time. At the very beginning, the contest was and its exhibition was hosted in Can Ramoneda. It's a very old and historical house of our city. After that, from 1991, it was in a house, a cultural house of our city, which is Casal da Cultura Robert Brías. And from 2004, the venue is the Museum of Can Tintoret, the place where I and Mrs. Villarday are in these moments. They are not very big, but are singular locations, are historical locations that have a significance by themselves, apart that from the fact that they host the exhibitions and the Biennial events. Since thank you, yes, you can pass. Since the very beginning, we have edited a catalog of every biennial, of every exhibition, and of the participant pieces and the winner pieces. This catalog is made in 3 languages: Catalan, Spanish, and English, and have a reflection of these pieces of work, our pieces, and some words of the jury who took the final decision of our mayor in nowadays Pilar Diaz. She is the mayor of Esplugas. Now we have also the catalog in digital support, and well, as I said, I think that I said it, we have a permanent exhibition of the winner pieces, because one of the characteristics of our contest is that the 3 winners, the 3 awarded pieces, are from that moment are under the possession of the city council. So every year we have 3 more pieces in our and we have them permanently exhibited in Espai La Baronda, that old factory that nowadays it's also a space for companies and offices. This yes, you can change off.
Sorry, Marta, you have 1 minute.
Just 1 minute. Well, just to summing up, all this history have implied some difficulties. One of these difficulties is the space where we can hold all these pieces. We have every biennial 3 more pieces. But also the international aspect, to send them, to receive them. And just es que no me tengo un minute. This last edition, we have incorporated some innovations, such as we have QR codes through which, with the help of your handy, you can see the video of the artist explaining the meaning of its piece of art. Or we have our contest. We have has been on site, but always online by streaming. But well, we would have had more time to express all the positive aspects that encourage every year, and all the difficulties that have to make us make a reflection. And I would like to finish my talk telling you our thanks for this opportunity, and to thank all the other participants in this webinar, because every one of these of their talks has been a richful resource for us in order to ideas and other new points of perspectives for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marta. And this has been a very interesting presentation of different experiences and the struggles also. Yes. Not only for the Biennial, but also for the PowerPoints and so on. But we'll try to go. So next presentation will be by Gaëlle Cornu from the Cerâmica Artística. She has studied art conservation and contemporary applied art, and has been in charge of the conception and or in the implementation of many international exhibitions, many in Europe. She organizes several courses, workshops and conferences, and she's now the artistic director of Cerâmica Artística Trienal. She will be presenting Cerâmica Artística, the most important event about contemporary ceramics in Belgium. And this initiative will hosting 8 exhibitions, market conferences, workshops and artistic residencies. And it will be the place to discover what is happening in the world of contemporary ceramics in its diversity of forms. So, Gaëlle.
Hello, do you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear? It's better?
No, loud and clear.
More than clear, okay.
Sorry.
And do you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Perfectly. Okay, perfect. So I'm Gaëlle Cornu. I am the artistic director of Ceramic Art Andenne. So Andenne, it's a little city in the south of Belgium, in the French-speaking part. Ceramica Art Andenne, it's the 16th editions, and it's also a triennial. For the Belgium, it's the biggest event on contemporary ceramic in Belgium, and it takes place in May and June next year. It's the biggest event because we have 8 exhibitions in 5 places, and we also organize in 1 month a ceramic market, courses, conferences, and performance. I just need to say that Andenne has an historically linked with ceramic, because Andenne owes the origin and development of its medieval pottery to its natural resource necessary for the manufacture of glass, for example. And the clay people also appeared in the second half of the 18th century, and also and then produce fine hardened red with many influences. Ceramica Andenne, before the name was Viens voir un pot, because the Andenne ceramic event was born at late 80s. And after the name changed with Biennial, it was a Biennial of Andenne, and now it's Ceramic Art Andenne, and it's a triennial. The first exhibition in the cultural center, it's an international exhibition of contemporary ceramic. It was an open call, and we received more or less 400 applications from 39 different countries. The jury was composed of professionals of ceramic, like Sylvette Botella-Godichon from La Piscine à Roubaix, some artists, Marieke Pauwels, Vincent Campenars, and others. After deliberation, 25 were selected for this exhibition, like Peter Lewis, Lucie Moreau, Lucie Sangois, and Nathalie Doyen. I know, Claudia, you have Nathalie Doyen on your artist on residencies, and also even Simcha Evenchen. The other exhibition at the same place, at the Cultural Center, it's Vision. It's a thematic exhibition, and the jury was the same, and they selected 16 exhibitors like Jean-François Thirion, Aster Cassel, Dominique Dulce, Yves Malflit, for example, also Lotte Westphal, like you can see some photos. And the third exhibition on the Cultural Center, it's Hidden Color. For each edition, for several years, Cerâmica Artística has invited a country to exhibit its better artists. And after Italy, the last edition, it's with a great pleasure that we will have the honor to welcome South Korea as a guest country. The curator is come from the Korean Ceramic Foundation and Icheon World Ceramic Center, and she chose 10 exhibitors. And after and then, the exhibition go in June and September to La Piscine à Roubaix, the big museum. We have partnership with the Ceramic Museum in Anden. He received 2 exhibitions. One exhibition of the artist in residency, was an artist is chosen by the country at the honors. So for this year is the Korean artist Jae Sung-ho, and he comes 3 weeks to work in the ceramic workshop of the Cultural Center. And after he has an exhibition during Cerâmica Artística. So he comes 3 weeks before, of course. In the same place, we have, we think it's important also to show the Belgian artists. So for each edition, we have a Belgian artist honored. And for this year, it's Jean-Claude Legrand. It's for 6th. It's a new exhibition. It's the collection of a collector, masterpieces from Frank Steyart collection. It's a new feature of this triennale is that at the Maison des Associations, another place in Anden, and is hosting an exhibition devoted to a private collection, the collection of a collector. We invite Frank Steyart, who is a great professor, a gallery, a critic, an artist, also a curator. So it was logical that for the first edition we chose Frank Steyart. He has a very beautiful collection with pieces from Lucie Rie, Yo Akiyama, Carmen Dionysos, Monika Patushinska. So it will be a very, very beautiful also exhibition. And the concept, it's also interesting. The 7 exhibitions, it's Terre Commune. We think it's interesting also to show ceramic in other places than usual. So we use a contemporary art gallery who don't exhibit a bit frequently ceramic. So we have a new collaboration with this gallery. It's not so far on them. And they exhibit 9 exhibitors. And also a very strange place, because we have an exhibition, it's underground. It's the Academy's exhibition. It's in a cave. It's clad in a cave. So after a guided tour, students from several academies took over the place and create work inspired by this very special place. So this year, the cave is more than just a showcase. It's an integral part of the work, and we selected 4 academies for this project. This is all for the exhibition, but we also have a ceramic market in 3 different places. The ceramic market is an historically important event for Anden, and it held every year on Whitsunday and Whitmonday. This year again, no less than 70 ceramists from Belgium and above exhibit in selling their finest work. We have a guest of honor, and it's Charles R. from France. And the deadline for the apply, it's 5th of December. So don't hesitate to give the information to your member or your visitors. Of course, during this month, we also have a workshop, for example, Charles R, performance, some animation during the market, meeting, and also conference with the curator of Korea, for example, and 2 exhibitors, artists, and also the Korean artist in residences. It takes place the 14th of May. So you are cordially invited also. So save the date. Donc, the next exhibition in May and June next year, the guest country South Korea, and maybe for the edition 2025, maybe your country like guest country. So if you are interested, thank you. Don't hesitate to send me an email for more collaboration.
Thank you, Gail. And so we'll pass. The next presentation was from Sara Blanes, Bienal International de Cerâmica de Manises, but she unfortunately she can't come because she has some difficulties. And so we'll pass to the last presentation. And this will be from Valentins Petjeco from Latvia International Ceramics Bienal, and is a ceramist author and curator, founder of Latvia Center for Contemporary Ceramics and Latvia Ceramics Bienal. He will present Latvia Ceramics Bienal and talk about this international event held since 2016, which includes exhibitions, competitions, conferences, and symposiums. Thank you, Valentins.
Hello, do you hear me well?
Yeah, perfectly.
Perfect. My name is Valentins, and I come from Latvia, and I'm curator of Latvia Ceramics Biennale. It's very young Biennale. It had just 3 editions. So, are you running the presentation or? Sorry. I started to share the screen because I wanted to run it myself.
We are running. Sorry.
Okay. So the idea of Biennale was in 2015, and it was so I just. Okay. Okay.
Because I'm told that there are some problems with the sharing of the PowerPoint. That's why we are.
Okay. So yes, can you go back for a while? So the aim of the Biennale was to develop Latvian and Baltic contemporary ceramics and to get it involved in the international scene. And the central event of the Biennale is Martinson's Award, That is the biennial competition, and it is dedicated to one of the most famous Latvian ceramists, Peteris Martinsons. Peteris Martinsons originally was an architect who in his 30s turned, you can continue with his works. He was originally the architect who turned to ceramics in his 30s, and the reason why he turned to ceramics was that he didn't like any ceramics that was around him at that time in Latvia and in Baltic countries. So he decided to change the scene, and I think he did. He did it not only in Latvia but also in a Soviet and post-Soviet space. So he also inspired a lot of Latvian ceramic artists, and so that was the main person we wanted to dedicate our Ceramics Biennale. And Ceramics Biennale is organized by Latvian Center for Contemporary Ceramics, which is a non-governmental organization. It was founded in 2011. It started its functions with organizing exhibitions and international ceramic symposiums. And in 2015, together with Daugavpils Mark Rothko Art Center, that was newly opened in 2013, we had an idea of the Martinsons Award competition. Yes, this is the Rothko Center. It is a quite large art center with 2,000 square meter exhibition spaces, with original paintings of Mark Rothko and some more than 1,000 square meters of exhibition space for temporary exhibitions. So yes, now I can tell you about the first edition of Martinsons Award in 2016. We didn't know how to organize anything of it, so it was just we were like blind, and we're trying how to make it and how to organize. So and there you can see that the first exhibitions were not so well installed and so on, but at least we had quite a lot of applications and quite good jury. So we had more than 100 artworks, and we had a program for a week with different exhibitions, not only the Martinsons Award competition, but some additional exhibitions and performances. So you can go forward with some images from the first Biennial exhibition, the first Martinsons Award exhibition, and yes, these are winners. From the beginning, we decided to split the award into two parts. One of them would go to national part and like Latvian ceramists, and another part to international, because in the beginning we thought that our own ceramists in Latvia could not be so competitive in international scene. But now we can see that they are growing year by year by participating in all the events that Latvian Center for Contemporary Ceramics is organizing. So the next was in 2018, and it had more applicants, the same amount of selected artists, around 100, the same amount of prizes, and yes, you can go forward. But we had the quite large program with events around the Martinsons Award. We had 3 exhibitions of Baltic countries, of Lithuanian ceramics, Estonian ceramics, and Latvian ceramics, some solo exhibitions, and there we started to think that one of the most important thing is the presentation of the work. So the quality of exhibition must be as good as possible. So the next Biennale was supposed to be in 2020, but yes, as everyone knows, the situation, we postponed it to 2021. So, but the application period was since the beginning of 2020 until the end of until the beginning of 21. So we had much more applications and much more time to prepare the exhibition, and we had quite long lockdown, so we were able to set up quite a good exhibition. So you can, yes, you can go forward with the images. This exhibition just finished some 2 weeks ago. So we are now packing the works and sending them back to the artists, and starting to think about the next edition. So, and here I have some images about our related events that we organize within the program of Biennale. So these are some performances, some festivals with fire sculptures and so on. So we try to distribute the events. Not we try to distribute the events not only in that year, which is the year of Martinson's Award, but in next years that follow the Martinson's Award biennial exhibition. So we also cooperate with different exhibition spaces. We have 3 own exhibition spaces in Daugavpils Mark Rothko Art Center and Latvian Center for Contemporary Ceramics. As well as recently we have built one outdoor exhibition space, which is mostly suitable for solo exhibitions or installations. So yes, and this exhibition is it was together with this year Biennale and Martinson's Award. It was a Baltic Contemporary Ceramics exhibition in Riga Decorative Art Museum. It represented 19 artists from 3 Baltic countries, from Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And it was curated by 4 curators. So this exhibition took us to the next plans we have with Baltic countries. So we are now focusing on. We are now, in general, we have one big international exhibition, which is biennial, and then we are focusing on Baltic countries. So the future events that we are having is first is the opening of Martinson's House, which will be a new exhibition space dedicated to Petris Martinsons. I was telling you in the beginning of the presentation. And this year we also have an open call for Baltic Contemporary Ceramics exhibition Safe Horizons, which will take place in South Korea next September and December. So in 2022. That's it. It was quite fast. Thank you.
Thank you. And Valentins. And we have finished all the presentations, international presentations. And now, before a break, we'll have a presentation from Portugal, the hosts of this Biennial Next. So we'll have some information about Aveiro and ceramics Biennial from Aveiro.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are you listening to me? Yes, I think so. Okay, thank you. Okay, we used to say that in Aveiro we are made of salt and clay. And that's why that long tradition of ceramics production, together with an artist local environment, were the key factors to establish this event in Aveiro as a privileged moment to join the local cultural and economic symbol with the contemporary design and artistic creativity. You were in 1989, was the first year of the Biennial. The project of the International Bienal of Artistic Ceramic has been supported and encouraged by the municipality since the beginning, and it is considered one of the most important cultural events of Aveiro and the one that reaches a larger international level of dissemination and participation. It is also in Portugal the main event in artistic ceramics of the country, so that means a lot to us. At the origin, and besides the artistic and historical reasons, the Biennial aimed to be a contribution for technological and scientific development of ceramics production. The existence of a course of ceramics and glass engineering at the University of Aveiro explains and justifies that reality. So, since the beginning, the Biennial weathered past, the tradition and history, with culture, arts, and creativity in a scope of local and qualified development. The Biennial is organized as an international competition, seeks to be a place for artistic dialogue, to the dissemination and confrontation of trends, and the contact with current concepts and artist ceramics. Also aims to promote the most significant ways of contemporary ceramics arts, shows the formal diversity of aesthetic renovation that is processing, as well as the capacity of new materials and techniques put into service of art. Simultaneously, this event aims to arouse the interest of the contemporary ceramics industry, exploring new production methods and artistic solutions. And for this, the objectives of the Biennial are mainly to state Aveiro as a cultural hub, national, international, in this area of the artistic ceramics, enhancing the local cultural identity of ceramics production, creating new artistic paths and opportunities, encouraging experimentation and creativity on ceramics, and providing new opportunities to artists, and also to aware and to contribute to the existence and the creation of new talents in ceramics. Besides that, it's also a project that intends to involve the participation of the community more and more. So these are the main actions and the main goals of the Biennial. And if the beginning was these were the scopes and still are, as you can see, as you can see in the table, the numbers of the participants have been changing, switching along the years. But in 2001, it was decided to do a reflection on the event and to evaluate its results based on the jury comments and suggestions presented since the edition of 1999. For this reason, that year, the edition didn't involve the competition, but shown the Portuguese and Spanish awarded artists in previous editions. That edition was entitled Terra Própria Reflexão. And it was the only edition with a theme. In general, the Biennial it's open to every artist, ceramic artists. The jury proposals aim to extending the initiative to additional activities with great involvement of artists and the scientists community. And then the Biennial restarted in 2005. The team that right now it's working on that, it's working the Biennial since 2015. And since then, our work is trying to enlarge the areas of the Biennial, more than just have competition exhibition and the invited artist exhibition, which were the common activities of the Biennial. Since then, we try to enlarge it and to have the involvement and the straight involvement of other entities and also the stakeholders of the project that have been increasing since then. Not only the university, especially the Department of Materials and Ceramics, but also some of the local companies in ceramics to work with us in this project. And also, which we have been reflecting and thinking, is that it is important also to gather some international institutions that could work with us and support the Biennial. One of them, which is the relevant to the project, is the International Academy of Ceramics, and also the European Route of Ceramics as well. So this kind of relationship with them, the fact of being part of these entities, help us to also to enlarge the dissemination, and as a result we can see the number of artists that are applying for the Biennial, especially in 2019 and 2021, the current edition that we are exhibiting and which is open to the public. So this enlargement, it's mandatory. It's also reflecting and relevant, as well as gathering to the jury and gathering to the project artists, international artists, and also a jury that is composed by experts in ceramics, artists, and members of museums or other entities. So it's the way also to enlarge and also to give more value to this project. The Biennial is considered one of the strategic projects of the municipality, and it's part of the strategic plan for culture 2020-2030, and is also one of the projects that is part of the application of Aveiro to become European Capital of Culture in 2027. So that means that reflects also the relevance of this project. Thinking about and talking about the current edition, and we are going to see a short video on that. We have a team that is working with 5 persons working on the Biennial. The open call for the competition started November last year, and the jury gathered the first time in January and the second time in May to decide the prizes. This edition we had 298 artists applying, 477 artworks applying, and from that were selected by the jury 136 works that represent artists from 58 nationalities and for 40 countries. Some of them have 2 nationalities, that's why this difference. And we are talking about artists from all over the world, from Australia to Asia, Far East to Europe, Africa, and America as well. So this is the project that gathers artists and artworks from all over the world and express the diversity of interpretation of ceramics in contemporary world. And as also some of the previous speakers said, these competitions also show the worries and the expectations of the artists nowadays on ceramics and how they see the world, and how through their art, through their works, they could express the way they see the world of our days. And that is quite relevant, was expressed in the jury's reflection in the presentation of the final works last Saturday. And so to explore more and to show you a little bit better what is going on, the Biennial opened last Saturday and will remain open till January the 3rd. And we are inviting you and expecting you all here in Aveiro to meeting you and to see all the exhibition. And to express it better, we go see a short video. É o segundo, é o link de baixo, sim. Da abertura. In different places. We have exhibitions in several different buildings, and besides that, there are also happening things, events in other places as well. So this was the moment of the day. We have a passport, so everyone that comes to visit the exhibition has a passport that allow him to go through the places. This is the main exhibition, the competition exhibition. Our mayor, the president of the jury, Benedetta Diamanti, the European Route of Ceramics. And this was the moment of the presentation of the winners. The third prize, the second one, and the winner, Ellen van der Voort. This is the first prize, the second one. And the third. And besides the fact of being in a period of pandemics that could condition the number of participants, we received several artists from different countries that came to the opening, which is a good sign. Also, the fact of being in a pandemic situation make us to do a different, the prizes at a different amount that I'll explain later. This is the second one exhibition, Rosa Ramalho. She was a Portuguese crafter and also an artist. This is the Public Library of Aveiro. The exhibition is called Dark Room. And a ceramist from a collective have created these works based on the works of the students of our elementary schools of the region. So they were working about the fears, and these were the results. The City Museum holds an invited artist, Carlos Enxuto. Enxuto is a Portuguese artist and was the second winner of the previous edition in 1919. His exhibition Aqua mais 32. Then the Museu Arte Nova, the Art Nouveau Museum. Here the exhibition it's based in the collection of the artworks of the Biennial that are part of the museum collections. Like as Explugis, we keep the three prizes, and they are part of a collection that is increasing every year. And this exhibition is prepared to be a travel exhibition. We will have a catalog. It has a catalog and represents works since the first year, 1989 to present year. Then this is also an invited artist, an international invited artist, Jean-François Feuilleux. Empreinte-du-geste. And then something different. This is the former train station. This is a new artist from Aveiro, and is a photography exhibition, but using clay as part of her work. Céline Marie, it's the name of the artist. So also the opportunity for the new talents to present their works, and also together ceramics with different types of art in just one work. And this is what is happening right now, but besides that we have also some conferences happening all over these 3 months, workshops with invited artists, some other activities more technical, dedicated to innovation in ceramics. And in this area we have the university, but also the Portuguese Society of Glass and Ceramics presenting some of the works. Residence, artists in residence, it's happening all over the November, and this is a project that is taking place together with a European project, CREART, and we are receiving 2 artists from Europe, one from Zagreb and the other one from Spain, Valladolid, working together with Portuguese artists on ceramics, and the lab is in the Design Factory Aveiro. So all these kind of relationships and links with other entities and the other projects are also some added value to the project of the Biennial. More than that, we'll have public space installations, Círculos, that is going to be presented in December in a square here in the city center, and publication of a magazine, a local magazine, Os Cadernos de Cultura, which is dedicated to ceramics. This number is specifically dedicated to ceramics. So the enlargement of the areas of the Biennial, trying to join in just one project different arts, performance as well that will happen and are happening, and music concerts. So this is a moment of celebration of culture for locally, and also to give more, to improve the relevance of the ceramics and the artistic ceramics here in Aveiro. All the exhibitions have a catalogue that will be available, the digital format, in the next few days in our website. The communication is through the website, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So these are the links that we are working in this moment to prepare and to promote the exhibition. Okay, thank you.
And we'll gather again at 12:25 to make a debate with all the participants about their experiences and differences between each presentation. So 5 minutes and we'll be together again. Okay.
Esta é a Rita, aficionada da Belle Époque, cosmopolita e que não sabe viver sem estar conectada. Ela é a beleza, originalidade, curvas sinuosas e estilo. Ela adora a natureza, mas sem sair da cidade. Para ela não há melhor sítio que Aveiro, um verdadeiro museu a céu aberto, onde tudo acontece. Todos os dias, ela percorre as ruas à procura de mais um pormenor para a sua coleção de fotografias analógicas. E não podia viver noutro sítio que não fosse uma inspiração diária na sua vida. A capital portuguesa do movimento Arte Nova. Uma cidade onde a arte se funde com a tecnologia e a tecnologia se inspira na natureza. Faça como a Rita, visita Aveiro e descubra a arte nova. Esta é a Joana. É uma amante da história e cultura. Tal como a Santa Joana Princesa, sua homónima e padroeira da cidade, também ela é uma mulher que luta pelos seus sonhos, desafios. E que gosta de se dedicar a causas e às outras pessoas. A inspiração que a Joana encontra no museu leva a ser o visitante mais frequente. Os espaços do museu e a história de vida da princesa são para ela uma fonte inesgotável de estímulo. A Santa Joana foi uma mulher que viveu à frente do seu tempo e que nos deixou um legado fantástico. Faça como a Joana, visita Aveiro e descubra como a história pode ser inspiradora.
Okay, hello, we are again together, and unfortunately Katie Franzi from Australia will not be joining us in this debate, and because she must go on, but I think we can talk with all the participants and trying to have some ideas of what was presented and the different realities that we were facing. So because we are talking about very different aspects of biennales, and I think one of the main aspects was the question of funding. So we saw different realities, some with more private fundings and struggling to maintain, others with public sector financing. And so I think this is one of the aspects that it's interesting to understand how this changes the perspective of each Biennale. I don't know if you want to talk about it?
Well, it is a bigger question. It is not something that one can start talking about. We can say from our experience that the Faenza Prize and Argilla Festival are considered two main events of our territory and our municipality, but also on national level. So for this reason, we received the support not just from the municipality but also from the region, and we are able to collect different sponsors on this project because they have a story, and so they are well considered from our stakeholders. And I think that in this very moment it is very, very difficult to find funds, and to have sponsors. And but I think that as we are managing also with other kind of similar Biennale, is to create a support altogether, especially in communication, which is something that we can do easily, and create a kind of network of biennial. For example, we published the Latvian Biennale results and also the call. We worked with Mino in Japan because we have a long tradition of networking with them. And so I think that this is the way to work, and this is the way to present also the network to receive funds. Of course, there are different situations in the different states, and we cannot make the situation is different, and every country has a different approach. But I think that it might be strongest for us to support this network and to create a communication together. And this is what the stakeholders see. And if you make this change of approach, not just nationalistic, but European, international, a better link, I think that also the supporter will arrive. That is my experience, and it is my opinion in general for creating events, and the experience is good in this. That is my principle.
I agree with you, but I think the countries that are in the outskirts, for instance, of Europe, will have more difficulties and struggling more to have this kind of approach, because they are not so much connected, I think. Because we are seeing different realities, and I'm thinking about Portugal. Portugal is facing a lot of difficulties, and so this was. There were moments in this decade that showed problems in the industry, for instance, in the ceramic production industries. And for instance, now for us it's strange, but many factories don't work with Portuguese clay. They buy clay, for instance, to Spain, because it's cheaper than produce the Portuguese clay. So there are a lot of problems. I know that I'm talking about something that is not the center of the question, but I think that's why I'm pity that Katy doesn't talk, is not here, because we are all Europeans, and it will be interesting to have other areas to talk about. Not only the Asian, because Korea, South Korea, Japan have also a very implanted ceramic culture, but it will be interesting to have other realities to understand if the founding and the people are really connected with the ceramics, as we are, for instance, in Europe, in several countries of Europe. But I agree with you, because this connection can be the support for something in the future, and try to open to other cultures and trying to diverse the offer. I don't know if the other ones have something to say about it.
I can tell about the situation, how we get the funding for our Biennale. We have it in two parts. One part is from Rothko Center, which is a municipal institution, and it has some funding from direct funding from Ministry of Culture, and the other part for managing the event comes through the Latvian Center for Contemporary Ceramics, which is non-governmental organization, and there we apply for project fundings through the State Capital Foundation, and it's quite yes, we get some financing every time, but it's quite difficult to proceed with it because here in Latvia, ceramics itself is not considered as an art. It's more considered as a pottery. So it took us already 10 years to show that ceramics is not only the pottery, it's also a visual art. So, but now I think everything is improving. So, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, because for many countries, I think that's the problem. Ceramics are always considered something that is not artistic, something that is more entertaining.
Yeah, probably is for that is so important to create a connection between us, to take knowledge of the ceramic art like an art and not like a work of artigianato, no? So I can connect with what Claudia Casali said, that important create a connection between the biennial, interaction between our event, even a manifestation together with all his artists, his problem connected to the country, the culture, and all you have to say. And that's all. All our biennial have a characteristic of internationality, no? All of us expect to take a knowledge of the biennals are present today, and so probably is that because we wish to create a connection. I mean.
Because I thought that the project that Claudia has shown, that project of having everyone online presentation was very interesting. It was a way of exchanging ideas, and that's what we are trying to do here, a different aspect, of course. And another aspect that I was curious is, Henry?
Yeah, I don't know if it's relevant right now to talk about this, but it's also the economic point on our manifestation, because some of you have a museum, so you don't sell the artwork. And for us, it's really also something economical, because this is gallerists who exhibit their work, so they have to earn money. So they can't pay for really far away artists. And we have an institution in Geneva, which is the Fondation Bord for the art from extreme East Japan and everything. And during the Parcours Céramique, they have an exhibition, so they don't sell the work, but then they exhibit in a gallery in France, so the work then can be sold. So also there can be also a relation between, I don't know, our events when there are exhibitions somewhere where the art are not sold, and then they can be shown, for instance, in a gallery in Carouge or anywhere. I mean, so also because we could see this with the COVID situation, that for ceramists it was really hard because many events were cancelled. And sometimes it was not postponed, it was really cancelled. So they worked for the event, and then they still have their work in their hand, and they can't show them sometimes again. And for us, it's really important to take this into consideration, because artists are also, they earn their living also with their art, and the galleries, they earn their living with the art too. And so we have this issue that we will take into consideration, and yeah, I think sometimes things can be done maybe between us because our public doesn't maybe not go to Faenza or in Portugal. So it can be the same exhibition shown in some places and then again in the other place. I don't know if you understood my point.
Perfectly, and you touched 2 points that I was also talking about. One was the effects of pandemics in this expression, and also the question about the objects that are in these biennales. So all the prize objects, in some cases I understood that they remain in the museums or in the galleries. But I didn't understand if all of you keep the objects that are prized and they will belong to this museum, gallery, etc., to be presented always, or if they are returned to the artists. And I think this is also something that I was interested to understand. Yes?
We return for everybody who wish to have the work back. We return the work, even if they are prized. But many people, many ceramics donate the work because it's very expensive to send back the work, and they have to pay twice to send to the biennial and then back. So many artists want to donate the work for the biennial, for the foundation. So yes, everybody could wish they could receive back the work, but now we have quite a few works donated, and we don't have the space and the help to show them continuously as a museum. So that's another problem. What you do with the work which are the result of the biennial? I don't know if you send back all of them, because we how I said, people are willing to read the work and wishing to be shown in the permanent museum, which we don't have yet today.
Okay.
In the case of Splugas Biennial, every 2 years, of course, it's a biennial, we have the 3 awarded pieces remains here. So this is the origin of one of the difficulties that we have. We start to have not enough storage space in order to have these awarded pieces that remains here. For instance, this year was the 20 edition of our biennial, and we have organized an exhibition that it's a review of all these 20 years of biennial, and we have used some of these pieces that we kept here, but it's a difficulty. We start to have not enough space, and it's something very good for us and to have them. It's a touchable way of our history, of this history of our contest, but yes, the storage it's difficult.
La idea era rotar-ho,
the first idea was to have a rotation of the places where we have the permanent exhibition of these awarded pieces, but it is a difficult itself. I don't know if everybody here kept pieces of every contest, or do you return back all of them?
Well, we cannot pay the return process at Biennial, because actually, how I heard, we are in the worst financial situation. So the applicants only pay for sending the work to Biennial, and also they pay for the receiving back. We cannot pay the sending back of work. So because of this, many people want to donate the work because it's very expensive to send the work and bring back.
Yes,
And
we send back all the pieces except the 3 awarded pieces.
So you pay for sending back the pieces?
Yes, the rest of the pieces, yes, but the 3 awarded remain here.
Okay, so you have financial for this, so you can how can I say? You pay for the sending back of the work, no? At Biennial.
Here in Aveiro, we kept the 3 awards every year, and we returned all the other works to the artists. But there are situations that some of you also explained that the artists prefer to let and donate the works to us than to have them back because of the costs of the shipping and all the situations also with the taxes that are involved on that. So, which means that our collections is also enlarging a lot, and we are starting to have a lack of room for to storage all of them. Anyway, the municipality have a project to create in short time a center for creativity that will be dedicated to the Biennial and to the artworks of artistic ceramics, which will be the house of this collection in a near future. So it will be also something that could help us to show to everyone these works, because right now, after being shown in the Biennial, they are stored. They will keep in storage room for a long time. The other project is the travel exhibition that also help us to have some room and to show in different places. And it could be a travel exhibition not only inside the country, but it's prepared to go internationally, so to other countries if some other partners or some other cities will ask for it. But definitely the work together and maybe the possibility to have some shared activities between our biennials or between our collections could be something interesting to explore in the future. We know that some of us are having the biennials this year, the other ones have next year, but we could create this kind of communication between us and have something in common that present the other ones in the place where is happening one of the biennials or one of the events. Maybe could be one possibility to start. And also, yeah, go ahead, please.
No, that's a good idea. We have also many shows which are travel shows during inside the country, but to go with work over the border, it's hard. Valentine did 2 years ago when we had the show, and was great, but he came with his own car and was a big event, a big work for them. It's possible, but it's well, probably we have to organize better and to make program together.
In our experience, we have, of course, the awarded pieces, the big one, the big prizes that stay in the collection, and they are now part of the contemporary section, international contemporary section. but we have different prices, and in general, the majority of artists are donating them because of the cost of the transport, but also because of the interest in staying in a big and large collection as our museum has. So there are different options, but of course, if you have place, it is important to have these pieces as a kind of testimony of what was the result of each edition. And I have to say that in 80 years, the majority of our contemporary collection has grown up thanks to this donation during the France Prize. So it's very important.
In London, we have the municipality to buy pieces. So it's like acquisition award. And the piece goes to the contemporary part of the ceramic museum. So for the artists, it's a very good thing because they receive money, and it's also a good thing for the municipality who have a very big, beautiful piece more in the museum. For example.
And so it's he has the representation of the movements that are making today ceramics. So I'm told that the mayor of the Aveiro will be addressing now the final words, but I think before I think this project of making the Biennial next, making all this connection between all these enterprises is something very important for all of us. And I think this, and I hope this will be the beginning, as in the Casablanca, this will be the beginning of a good friendship that will last for us and try to take the ceramic art to a next level and the next communication level. So I will pass the, sorry, yeah, Emily?
Yeah, sorry. I have a suggestion. Can you make, I think it would be interesting to have each other's contacts. Yeah. And when we all have our event, send each other our press kit or anything like that. So we know more about what's happening in your events, and this way make more pragmatic link between us or collaboration, because I think we are many doing things in our little corner and we are not sure what's going on elsewhere. And we don't all have extended website. We try to have one which is really well documented, but I know that sometimes I go on others' websites and I can't find who is invited or what. And I think it would be really interesting for each other to know what's going on and know more about your work. I mean, so I don't know if Aveiro can continue to make this link for the first steps, but I think it would be interesting.
I think it will be very important, and I think the organization will be aware of that and try to make this connection. And I suppose it's one of the main goals of this presentation and this idea. So I will pass. I'm receiving the note that we'll be sharing emails and probably more information. Okay, so I will pass now the word to the mayor of Aveiro City, the engineer José Ribal Esteves, to close all this event. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. I would love to take all the meetings with you, but life of a mayor is not easy, especially in that part of the term that we have elections in the 26th September, and we are starting a new term of our 4 years work in the municipality of Aveiro in my third term. So thank you very much to be with us in that meeting, in this time that we are living our 25 Biennial. We start the exhibition in the 30 October and we go at the 30 January next year. So first of all, I would like to invite everybody to come to Aveiro to see to know our beautiful Biennial. We are very happy with our work, with the presence of artists all around the world. It's for us very, very special that the results that we have in that edition. But the idea of that conversation that we have with you, with the representatives of the cities that are with us in that meeting. We want to create an informal group of international cooperation, positioning the Aveiro Biennial in that world, in that network of culture through ceramics. We think that it will be very important to all our cities to have that informal group. It's not necessary to create another association. No, an informal group to share the promoting of our biennales, to share experience, different things that we can do to make it better, to make it grow, to use also the event, the Biennial, for the promoting the territories, for the marketing of our territories, of our cities, of our regions, and also about the culture that they are in that event, and the role that the event takes in the offer of the culture, the program, the cultural program that our municipalities, our city, our regions can put inside of the table for our citizens, but especially for our Europe and our world. That's the intent, the principal intent that we have. A few words about our strategy of the artistic ceramics. First of all, I repeat that integration in international networks, for sure in the association, the AIC that we are part, the European Route of Ceramics. We want to grow in that network that for sure is too much important for us and for the growth of our Biennial. Secondly, we want to work at the internationalization of our Biennial collection through the creation of a traveling exhibition, preparing to travel around the world, all around the world, from February next year to 2022. We have work done in that goal, and I want to share we do that work that we are done, and we want to start we want to start the trip around Europe and around the world of our collection of biennales, all the biennales, from February next year, 2022. And the third idea is that idea that we want to reinforce the capacity building, the international mobility and statement of ceramic artists. We live that. We have, I repeat, artists from all around the world, the 5 continents of the world, in our Biennial 2021, and that work to work the mobility of the artists, the ceramic artists, I think is too much important for that growth of quality, also the growth of quantity to our biennales. And another idea, we start a project to build, to create a museum of the Aveiro Bienal. We have built, it's an old build. It was the municipal library since 2020, and we want to put it a permanent exhibition of our Bienal. We have a very special collection, especially with those that are the winners of the Bienal, and for us is a very important goal. We made the choice of the architect, the team of the architects and the engineers that made the project, and after that we will do the construction, the installation of the exhibition, of the permanent exhibition of Aveiro Bienal. It's a very important goal. We want to put it on during the year 2022 and 2023, and I hope that we can put it on, open the door when we close the Bienal of 2023. For us, it's very important to make the exhibition of the Bienal during 1 month or 3 months, as our choice for the Bienal of 2021. The exhibition, we have the door open of the exhibition during 3 months, but the importance, the cultural importance of the materials that we have from the old biennales, the 15 biennales that we do now, that we have done, and for sure the future, we have that decision to have a permanent exhibition in a museum specially dedicated for our Bienal. So that's our strategy. And for end, I want to say to you that we'll send an invite to everybody to have a meeting in Aveiro during the next year, 2022, for the launch of our 16th edition of the Aveiro Bienal, maybe for sign an agreement with the principles of the cooperation that we want to make with your cities, and maybe with another cities that work in that special area of ceramics. So thank you very much to stay with us, and for us it's too much important be part of that Europe and that world, and I hope we can do things together about ceramics, but especially about our lands, our culture, and especially our people, the persons that are the most important that we have in the life of our cities and for sure of our municipality. So thank you very much to be with us, and I hope to know everybody in the meeting next year here in the Aveiro. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
I think we must really stay in touch, and as Emily said, there is much things to discuss, and we need to keep this in mind and to try to exchange more about our experiences and try to achieve a different goal for ceramics, and try to have a different strategy for ceramics. So I think it's time to end this presentation. We hope to have all your contacts, and it will be nicer to be in presence of all of us I think this is not a very good, as we are from ceramics, we need to touch and to see the objects, and this is a bit uncomfortable to see flat faces. So I hope we'll see each other next year, as the president said, as the mayor said. We'll see each other and in a different way, and we can talk more about all these questions. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed a lot to see your presentations and to see your projects, and we hope to see you again soon in a different platform, a more connected one. Okay, so see you next time. Bye bye.
See you.